Hi guys, I'm going to show you how to use the Simple Event System, or SES for short. We have a basic scene set up with some sprites, a cylinder, and a canvas element here. To get started with SES, you want to right-click, create, scriptable objects, game events, and select a predefined event that comes shipped with SES, or you can define your own. SES is easily extendable to fully support additional custom events and editors. I'm going to go ahead and use an event that we already set up. Click a game object and drag the event onto the game object in either the hierarchy or the inspector. Now our listener is configured for this game event. Next, we want to set up responses for when this game event is raised. I'm going to go ahead and drag my sprite into the response. Since the event is passing in a bool, I want to tie into the dynamic bool value and pass it to the setActive field. What this is going to do is trigger the event with our custom editor here, and based on sending true or false through the event, the sprite will show or hide. Let's quickly show you. Now that the scene is started, our custom editor is enabled while we have the event selected. I can pass a value of false and the sprite will disappear. And if I pass a value of true, the sprite will reappear. SES also comes with a custom editor called Game Event References, which shows you the listeners and the producers for the selected event. Currently, we have only set up a listener and are manually triggering the event in the custom editor. Let's go ahead and wire another game object. I'm going to take the vector3 game event and drag it onto this game object. Again, we create a response to that listener. I'm going to take the cylinder and select that we want to change the transform.local position when this event is raised. Let's go ahead and wire several more so we can test them all at once. The float we are going to use to change the rotation speed of the square. We have a simple script on our game object that takes a speed and updates the rotation of the game object. It also has an update speed handler. Let's drag in our square sprite, and we want to select the rotator script on that sprite and its update speed method. Next, we have the color content. The color game events are going to change the color of the rounded square down here. There are actually two things we're going to do. The first is we're going to set up a color change listener. Now that we've added the listener, we're going to drag our sprite onto the response and select that we want to change the color of our sprite based on the game event's value. Now there's two ways we're going to produce this event, one with the color change event automatically and the other with our custom editor. The automatic one uses this script where every 5 seconds it produces the color change event with a random color. You'll notice that the Game Event References window has updated to reflect the producer that is on the script we just showed and the listener we set up. The last thing we're going to set up is the ability to set your name on the canvas text here. All we have to do is drag in the string game event and drag the text into the response and set the text as the dynamic text from the event. Now if we run our scene, we'll again be able to show the bool. Every 5 seconds this color changes. We can override the color change. I actually want to make it pink right now. The automatic script will still change it, but nothing stops us from changing it again. Now let's go ahead and change our rotation speed. Let's set it to 100 and we can see the square rotating. We can also rotate it in the opposite direction, or completely stop it. The string event, we are going to say my name is Brandon and raise the event. We can see my name is now on that canvas element. Lastly, remember we set a vector3 game event listener on this cylinder. I'm going to say move it here and here, and it will move to that position. The last thing I want to show you is SES's support for custom game events and editors. I have here a catcher class where all it does is receives our simple custom data type, which has an age and a name field on it, and converts that to JSON and debug.logs it. All the custom game event listener does is calls that script and passes the value along. Now you're wondering, how do we build an editor to support our custom data types that work with SES? Well, it's quite simple. All we do is take our object and create inputs and map them to the fields in our custom data object. As part of that, we build our custom game event and we raise it with our custom object. If we select our custom data structure game event, we can see the name and age field that we just added in the custom editor. Now we can input the name tester and the age of 12 and raise the event. You can see in the console, thanks to the catcher script, it received the name tester and the age of 12. As you can see, SES is extremely easy to use.